the houses have become insanely expensive. So let me compare the situation with 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you could get a house in a cheap area of California for, not joking, $70,000. Imagine getting a house in California for $70,000. These were the prices back in California at that time. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about real estate investing, something a little bit different about the usual content I've had on here about Russia and everything. Well, we have to change up, sometimes. But anyway, I've been doing real estate investing for a very long time, and I'm going to talk about why things have gotten so bad that it is so much worse than it was like 10 years ago when I started doing this. So just a little background, I used to invest in rental properties back in California when I used to live in California. So I bought some properties back in like 2012. I got them for a really good price because it was like the tail end of the financial crisis. But since then, things have gotten so much worse that I don't even envy whoever is getting into the market today, and especially in California. And I would say there's a lot of factors why things are worse. Let me go over them. So the main thing that's a huge problem is the evictions. It's just like when you constantly get people who take advantage of the eviction laws, who don't pay rent, and you're stuck evicting them, and not only does it cost an arm and a leg, usually like $1,000, it also takes a long time, and the fact that you constantly have to keep doing it. So I remember I never used to get evictions up until about like 2018. This is when things started going downhill. And I would not advise anybody to buy any kind of income properties or rental properties in California. Just ignore that state completely. And I would say this, that I live in Eastern Europe now, and while properties here don't appreciate nearly as much as they do like in California or the US, mainly because they build a lot of things. Like renting things out here with, I've talked to people who do this here, is so much better than doing it in the United States. One of the main things is because you get way less problems with tenants. So the way it works here is that if people don't have money to pay, they just move out. There's not a huge amount of problems with tenants, and just things have gotten so much progressively worse. It was difficult to evict people prior to the COVID thing. And I am like not, nearly rich or whatever so that I can afford to, all of this. Like I have an eye condition, like I have bad eyes, so it was just an investment. I'm not some kind of like, millionaire who, swimming with money, and this was my investment, just like like a retirement thing. I saved up, I worked hard, I bought rental properties, and I cannot make money on them because you constantly run into completely trashy tenants, you constantly run into problems. The local California government rips you off because you have to pay all kinds of like charges. The utilities are a lot, so it's difficult for tenants to pay them. I don't know, there's very few honest information. Like I've been watching all kinds of like bloggers. I've watched Graham Stefan, I've watched Meet Kevin, and I've watched Biohazard, who is from Belarus, by the way. And all of these people talk about like buying rental properties like it's no big deal. In fact, it is firstly, they don't talk about expenses. It's like I've watched this Biohazard video where he bought some kind of property for like 300,000, and then he spent like 60,000 renovating it, and he was like so happy about it. Like here's 1,000 there, 1,000 there, 5,000 there. Like If I buy an apartment in Eastern Europe, I have to spend like zero on it. You know, nothing ever breaks, because with houses, there's so much maintenance. And these people are like happy to pay. There's a lot of maintenance cost with these. You have to choose between, you know, one trashy person or the other trashy person. And the houses have become insanely expensive. So let me compare the situation with 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you could get a house in a cheap area of California for, not joking, $70,000. Imagine getting a house in California for $70,000. These were the prices back in California at that time. Now, the rents almost like grown maybe 150%. So whatever used to rent out for $1,000 now rents out for like $1,500. But the house prices grew like 3 times. So your return on investment went down like insanely. You know, the houses cost a lot. It's very hard to rent them out. You constantly run into eviction problems. So at this point, I actually think that it's better to just throw it all in the stock market. And I don't think the housing situation will ever improve. Now, there's no hope for it. Because it's, firstly, the houses, the ratio of house price to rent, I don't think will ever improve unless houses drop in price like 2 times at least, or 3 times. That will never happen. I don't think houses will get twice cheap. Maybe. And if the eviction situation, but the eviction situation is never going to improve. It just gets worse and worse. It's just harder and harder to kick people out of your property, you know? The only good thing about all of this crap is the fact that houses get more expensive. But that is simply because they don't build any ones. They don't build any new housing. You know, all of the housing in California is like 50 years old. You get these houses which are built back in like 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. You know, they're complete crap, and they cost like they're made of gold. It is insane. All of them are like, you know, inside they're very poor, people are poor, you know, and yet this thing made from cardboard goes, these houses, the prices for them right now, even in poorer, like crappier areas of California and all over the country, is just insane. I can't believe how much that crap costs with all of the maintenance. Like when you buy that house, you don't buy it, you have to pay for it. You pay like, you know, an insane amount of money to maintain it. That's what people don't understand, is how expensive it is to maintain it, with property taxes and utilities going up and everything. You know, things are not making sense investment-wise in the United States, real estate-wise, at all. At all. Things have gotten only worse. I would say in the last, when have things gotten actually better in the United States? I can't remember a time. It's just downhill. You know, it's just downhill. The only thing, like, somehow the stock prices keep going up. I don't know, like, how is that possible when things in America get worse and worse and worse, but yet the stock price keeps up and up and up? It's like, you know, they're not reflected of like real world. It's like some kind of bubble that's building. But anyway, if you guys liked this video, let me know with comments below, and I'll talk more about real estate and finances. Take care.